Hello and a very warm welcome to Science Monitor, your weekly update on what's happening in the field of science, technology, research and innovation in and around the country. I'm Aishwarya Kapoor with you. From the first indigenous COVID-19 vaccine getting approval for human clinical trials to a newly launched scheme to strengthen the scientific research base in the country, we have plenty in store for you. So let us begin with the headlines. Covaxin gets approval for human clinical trials. India's first indigenous vaccine prototype developed by Bharat Biotech in collaboration with ICMR and NIV Pune. Annual Tuberculosis Report 2020 released. India does exceptionally well in reducing the estimated tuberculosis fatalities. Innovative research by IIT Guwahati diagnoses diabetic retinopathy at an early stage. Point-of-care device developed to reduce the burden of lab-based procedures. And Accelerate Vigyan scheme launched by DST SERB aims to strengthen scientific research mechanism in the country. The biggest story this week, India has now moved one step further in the war against COVID-19 as the human clinical trials of the first indigenous COVID-19 vaccine have been approved recently. The vaccine was developed and manufactured at Bharat Biotech's BSL-3 high containment facility, and Indian researchers have collaborated and worked tirelessly to develop this vaccine prototype in a fast-track mode. Let us see the report to know more about this development.
Bharat Biotech, a leading biotechnology company based in Hyderabad and an important vaccine manufacturer in India, has succeeded in developing country's first vaccine candidate, Covaxin, against the COVID-19 infection. The vaccine was developed in collaboration with the Indian Council of Medical Research and the National Institute of Virology, Pune. And after obtaining satisfactory results in pre-clinical studies, Covaxin has now been approved by the Central Drugs Standard Control Organization for Phase 1 and Phase 2 human clinical trials.
We are proud to announce Covaxin, a live inactivated vaccine that is being developed at Bharat Biotech in partnership with ICMR and National Institute of Virology, Pune, and a public-private partnership. And we are happy to say that this vaccine strain was isolated from NIV Pune and manufactured at Bharat Biotech and going to be conducted clinical trial in India. We are happy to say that DCGI gave a nod for conducting phase 1 and 2 clinical trial soon.
For manufacturing the vaccine, SARS-CoV-2 strain was isolated at the National Institute of Virology in Pune and transferred to Bharat Biotech. Expedited through national regulatory protocols, the company accelerated its objective in completing the comprehensive preclinical studies and submitted the results, on the basis of which the Ministry of Health and Family Welfare and CDSCO granted permission to initiate the human clinical trials, which are scheduled to start in this month itself. It should be noted that globally, more than 140 efforts are underway to make a suitable vaccine against COVID-19, and out of them, at least 13 are in human clinical trial. The results of these trials are still awaited as nobody has claimed success yet. If Covaxin manages to clear all the phases of the vaccine development, then India will surely lead the war against COVID-19.
Under the National Strategic Plan for Tuberculosis Elimination, the Government of India is looking at complete eradication of TB from the country. To achieve this goal, it is important to have complete data covering all the aspects of the disease. And this data is prepared and published every year by the Central TB Division in the form of Annual TB Report. To know how India has progressed in the past year to control TB, let us see the key highlights of the Annual Tuberculosis Report 2020, which was recently released by the Ministry of Health and Family Welfare.
The Government of India is committed to eliminating tuberculosis from the country by 2025, which is notably 5 years ahead of the global target 2030 set by WHO. On 24th June, Union Minister Dr. Harshvardhan released the annual TB report 2020, which shows how India is faring under the National Tuberculosis Elimination Program, which was earlier known as Revised National TB Control Program. According to the report, among states with more than 50 lakh population, Gujarat, Andhra Pradesh and Himachal Pradesh were the top 3 states for tuberculosis control. Among states with less than 50 lakh population, Tripura and Nagaland were best performing states. And among the union territories, Dadra and Nagar Haveli and Daman and Diu performed the best.
बधाई देना चाहता हूँ गुजरात को, हिमाचल प्रदेश को, आंध्र प्रदेश को, त्रिपुरा को, नागालैंड को और इसी तरह से जो एक हमारी यूनियन टेरिटरी दादर नगर हवेली और दमन दीव हैं, इनको जिनको आज विशेष रूप से इस हेल्दी कंपटीशन के अंदर पुरस्कृत किया गया है। इससे बड़ा स्पष्ट होता है कि कितने एग्रेसिव तरीके से हम कितनी गहराई और गंभीरता से देश के अंदर स्टेट्स हमारे काम करने का प्रयास कर रहे हैं।
According to the report, the country has done well in some areas, but there are many challenges to overcome. As per the data, tobacco consumption is rising among Indian TB patients as 8% of TB cases can be attributed to tobacco usage. India accounts for 9% of all HIV-associated TB deaths in the world, the second highest number globally. According to the report, 20% of all TB cases in India also suffer from diabetes. In 2019, among the notified TB patients under the RNTCP, 64% were screened for diabetes. The report also highlights that the notification of TB is a major hurdle in surveillance of the disease in India. According to the figures, nearly 5,40,000 TB cases are still missing across India. But in case of reducing the fatalities due to TB, India has done exceptionally well, as only 79,144 deaths were reported in 2019, which is much lower than the WHO estimate of 4.4 lakh. Government of India is running many initiatives to eradicate tuberculosis from India. Under the Nikshay ecosystem, information of patients and program activity and performance is monitored throughout the country. Nikshay Poshan Yojana is aimed at providing financial support to TB patients for their nutrition. TB Harega, Desh Jeetega campaign was launched in September 2019 to showcase the highest level of commitment for the elimination of TB. And the Saksham project of the Tata Institute of Social Sciences provides psychosocial counseling to drug-resistant TB patients.
10 लाख हम केसेस को मिस कर जाते थे, लेकिन आज हम जब इस समय विश्लेषण कर रहे हैं तो हमारे जो मिसिंग केसेस हैं वो सिर्फ 2.9 लाख रह गए, यानी 7.1 लाख केसेस जो एक साल पहले तक मिसिंग कैटेगरी में चले जाते थे, हम उनको ढूंढ नहीं पाते थे। 10 लाख में से 7 लाख से ज़्यादा केसेस को अगर हम एक साल में थोड़े से अपने प्रयास से टीबी हारेगा देश जीतेगा इस जज्बे के साथ अगर सारा देश मिलकर ढूंढ सकता है तो ये कोई बहुत बड़ा हमारे लिए लक्ष्य नहीं है कि हम 2025 तक का इंतज़ार करें। 2025 से पहले भी हम जो है टीबी के खिलाफ जो लड़ाई है उसको सफलतापूर्वक जो है लड़ सकते हैं।
TB is an infectious disease and remains a challenge for the whole world. It is caused by the bacteria, Mycobacterium tuberculosis, which mostly affects the lungs. It spreads from person to person through cough, sneeze, and saliva of the patients. Its symptoms include cough with sputum and blood, chest pain, weakness, weight loss, fever, and night sweats. Fortunately, TB is now a treatable and curable disease, but patients have to be religious in following the advised treatment. as leaving the treatment in between can increase the chances of developing drug-resistant TB.
Now it is time for a short break, but do not go anywhere. We'll be right back.
देखिए, कोरोना हम पर दो तरह के हमले करता है। पहला शारीरिक और दूसरा मानसिक। मानसिक हमला हमें संदेह पैदा करता है, मन में कहीं एक शक पैदा करता है, यहां तक कि हम उस इंसान से भी डरने लगते हैं जो अस्पताल से ठीक होकर घर आया है। वो इंसान जिसे डॉक्टरों ने ताली बजा करके घर भेजा है। देखा होगा आपने टीवी पर कि अस्पताल से ठीक होकर वापस आने पर घर और समाज के लोग उन पर फूलों की वर्षा करते हैं। शारीरिक लड़ाई के लिए तो दुनिया भर के जानकार कोशिश कर रहे हैं, पर मानसिक लड़ाई हमें ही जीतनी पड़ेगी। यदि हम हार गए तो कोरोना जीत जाएगा, और ये हम कभी होने नहीं देंगे। अपनों को अपनाएंगे, सही सलामत घर लाएंगे।
Welcome back. After the break, you're watching Science Monitor. It is estimated that by 2025, 20 million people in India may suffer from diabetic retinopathy. There is a long and inconvenient procedure for examining this condition of the eye, under which ophthalmologists use many modern laboratory techniques. But now, Indian researchers have developed a portable device that can easily detect diabetic retinopathy at an early stage. Let us see the report to know how this technology will work.
Diabetes, a silent killer. One of the several complications arising from this condition is the diabetic retinopathy. This disease gives rise to abnormal growth in the retinal blood vessels, and it is usually worsened when the patient is on insulin for diabetic treatment. The symptoms of diabetic retinopathy include blurred vision, problems in recognizing colors, etc. Now, researchers from the Indian Institute of Technology, Guwahati, have developed a special microfluidic analyzer device in collaboration with Sri Sankaradeva Nethralaya, Guwahati, which can alert the patient by identifying diabetic retinopathy at an early age with the help of tear or urine sample.
Presently, methods for diagnosis of diabetic retinopathy include fluorescein angiography, detection of exodyes in retina, and image analysis using machine learning tools. However, such methods are not easily accessible and non-portable also, even rather expensive. In this direction, a biosensor has been developed for point-of-care testing device for beta-2 microglobulin, suitable for early detection as well as regular monitoring of diabetic retinopathy.
The point-of-care device has been developed by a team led by Dr. Deepankar Bandhopadhyay, who is a professor at Department of Chemical Engineering and head of Center for Nanotechnology, IIT Guwahati. The research team first identified a reliable biomarker of the condition, a protein called beta-2 microglobulin or B2M. This biomarker is found in tears and urine samples of the patients. The device developed for the test uses nanogold-laden antibodies of the protein to detect its presence in the sample. A color change in the sample indicates the presence of the protein in the sample and diagnoses diabetic retinopathy.
Diabetic retinopathy causes damage to the blood vessels of the light-sensitive tissue at the back of the eye. The longer you have diabetes and the less controlled your blood sugar is, the more likely you are to develop this eye complication. An early-stage real-time detection of diabetic retinopathy can be realized by analyzing the biomarker beta-2 microglobulin in the body fluids. It helps in detecting the onset and growth of this dreaded eye disease, diabetic retinopathy, for the patients suffering from diabetes mellitus.
This device is as easy and portable as a glucometer, so a patient can be examined easily at general clinics. The research is funded by the Ministry of Human Resource and Development, Indian Council of Medical Research and the Ministry of Electronics and Information Technology, Government of India, and has been published in the journal ACS Sustainable Chemistry and Engineering. The team has also filed an Indian patent for this idea and device.
More and more trained researchers are needed in the country, not only to accelerate the speed of the scientific research, but also to refine further the quality of the scientific work. To accomplish this objective, SERB, the statutory body under the Department of Science and Technology, has launched a scheme called Accelerate Vigyan or AV. Under this interministerial program, more thrust will be given to prepare scientific manpower and to encourage high-end scientific research. Let's have a look at the report to know more about this initiative.
To promote and encourage talented science researchers in the country, the Science and Engineering Research Board of the Department of Science and Technology has launched a new scheme named Accelerate Vigyan. The scheme aims to prepare scientific manpower to accelerate the pace of high-end scientific research by providing a single platform for research internships, capacity building programs, and workshops across the country. The plan has three broad goals, which includes consolidation of all scientific programs, initiating high-end orientation workshops, and creating opportunities for research internships for those who do not have access to such facilities. To initiate, applications are currently sought under Abhyas, which is a major program under the scheme. It has two components: high-end workshops, Karyashala, and research internships, Vritika. This program will be especially helpful in developing research skills of postgraduate and PhD students who have limited access to high-level facilities and infrastructure. A web portal, www.accelerate.vigyan.gov.in, has also been launched to access more information about the scheme. Another new component under AV is Samuhan, which is subdivided into Sanyojika and Sangoshthi. Sanyojika catalogues the capacity building science and technology activities supported by all the government funding agencies in the country, while Sangoshthi is a pre-existing program of SERB. For successful implementation of Accelerate Vigyan scheme, an interministerial oversight committee has been formed, involving all the scientific ministries, departments, and some other members. In collaboration with premier scientific institutions and laboratories of the country, there is a plan to organize about 1,000 high-end workshops to provide opportunities to about 25,000 postgraduate and doctoral students in the next 5 years.
Now it is time for a short break again, but stay tuned. We'll be right back with more reports.
Protect yourself from COVID-19. Follow these do's and don'ts. Practice frequent hand washing. Wash hands with soap and water. Use alcohol-based hand sanitizer. Wash hands even if they are visibly clean. Cover your nose and mouth with tissue while sneezing and coughing. Throw used tissues into closed bins immediately after use. See a doctor if you feel unwell. While visiting doctor, wear a mask to cover mouth and nose. If you have these symptoms, please call 24/7 helpline at 011-2397-8046. Avoid participating in large gatherings. Do not have a close contact with anyone if you are experiencing cough and fever. Do not touch your eyes, nose and mouth. Do not spit in public.
Welcome back after the break. You're watching Science Monitor. And now let's have a quick look at some other developments that are making news in the field of science and technology in our segment Science Express.
To establish the culture of computational drug discovery in the country, the Union government launched the Drug Discovery Hackathon 2020 on 2nd July. It is the first of its kind national initiative for supporting drug discovery process and will see participation from professionals, researchers, students from varied fields like computer science, pharmacy, medical sciences, basic sciences and biotechnology. The hackathon is a joint initiative of Ministry of Human Resource Development's Innovation Cell, All India Council for Scientific and Industrial Research, and Council of Scientific and Industrial Research, and is supported by Center for Development of Advanced Computing as well as private players. International Asteroid Day was observed on 30th of June by organizing many digital events. The global event marks the anniversary of the Siberian Tunguska event that took place in 1908 and is the most impactful asteroid-related event on the Earth in recent history. Asteroid Day was co-founded in 2014 by many famous personalities to educate all about the importance of asteroids and their unique place in our history and solar system. In 2016, the United Nations officially designated Asteroid Day as the International Day of Awareness and Education about asteroids. Asteroids are basically rocky remnants left over from the early formation of our solar system, and most of them are found in asteroid belt between Mars and Jupiter. But near-Earth asteroids have orbits that pass close by that of Earth, and therefore they pose a greater threat to our planet. A team of scientists from the Nippon Foundation JEBCO Seabed 2020 project has claimed to map 1/5 of the ocean's floor. Under the project, scientists use multi-beam echo sounders to send sound pulses down to the sea floor and then measure the sound's echo to calculate the depth of the ocean. The sonar data is collected through ships and underwater vehicles, and sophisticated software is used to study the data and prepare the map. It should be noted that ocean floor has been mapped before using the satellite data, but it had the resolution of around 5 kilometers, while a resolution of around 100 meters can be achieved by using the modern sonar systems aboard ships. Scientists hope that the work will help in better understanding of ocean circulation, sea level rise, weather systems, and climate change. Department of Science and Technology is observing its Golden Jubilee commemoration year from 3rd May 2020 to 2nd May 2021. As part of the celebrations, the official logo of the Golden Jubilee commemoration year was launched recently by the Secretary of the Department, Professor Ashutosh Sharma. Professor Sharma also announced that DST will organize many activities throughout the year to add to the celebrations in the form of lecture series, webinars, and short feature films on autonomous institutions under the department. He urged each autonomous institution to participate actively in the celebrations by creating awareness about the institute's facilities and research activities.
And finally, NASA has recently released a 10-year time-lapse video of the Sun, compiling the photographs captured by its Solar Dynamic Observatory. These photographs were taken at an extreme ultraviolet wavelength, with which we can also see the outermost atmospheric layer of the Sun. Compiling one photo every hour, the movie condenses a decade of the Sun into 61 minutes. But for our viewers, we have condensed it further to give you a feel of the video in a fast-forward mode. Have a look. And that's all in today's edition of Science Monitor. Do tell us, how do you like our program? You can send your feedback and suggestions through email. Our email ID is news@vigyanprasar.gov.in. You can also write in to us at Vigyan Prasar, 5th floor, Prithvi Bhavan, Lodi Road, New Delhi, 110003. We'll meet you again next week with new information and developments. Till then, stay safe, stay home, take care, and think scientifically. Bye for now.